Hey guys, John Wright here with MixCoach. I'm sitting down with Robby Resnick this week. We are actually talking about the AES convention that is actually going on currently. And so, Robby, talk to us. There's been some news, and so talk to us a little bit about kind of the news going out of AES.
Well, AES is just starting to kick off. As of Friday morning, 9 a.m., we're going to start seeing announcements. So, first thing I can say, because I know you'll probably all be watching this around that time, check out Sweetwater.com. Check out your favorite gear websites. They all have news. All of it's going to be super exciting, and there's a ton to show. I remember when, summer and winter NAMM were the big things, and now it's, winter NAMM and AES. There's always cool stuff to see. So, coming into it, there are a couple of things, that are being debuted that I think are really, really awesome. First of all, Antelope Audio has upgraded their Zodiac yet again. Previously, they had the gold, and the top of the line was gold with Volticus. Volticus being a custom power supply. For all those out there that don't believe power makes a difference, ask anybody who designs analog circuitry. Power makes a huge difference, but $2,000 IEC cables don't. And so that's one man's opinion. So they've upgraded to Platinum. Platinum is really special. I got a chance to hear this about 3 or 4 days ago. I believe it was introduced actually to the hi-fi market a little while back, but it's just starting to kind of be introduced to the music market, the MI market. And so I'm really, really excited to see how this does. It goes up to... oh boy, I hate to say it. I forget the multiple off the top of my head for 700 kilohertz. 700 and whatever, like 768, somewhere in there.
Right on.
84 times 2.
That's awesome.
Anyway, it does that. It's capable of DSD. It actually is one of the first that upsamples itself and can upsample all the way to its top frequency. And it does make a difference. I was really, really surprised in demonstrations I heard. It actually makes a difference. So even when you're just monitoring at 44.1 or 96, you can reap a huge benefit from this device. So that was a really, really cool thing to get to hear, because you don't often get to hear things that are that expensive face-to-face.
Right, absolutely.
So the other thing I am super excited about, and I've been waiting and waiting and waiting for my friends at Dangerous to make something like this.
Dude.
Dangerous Music came out with a brand new compressor called the Dangerous Compressor. In the past, they've been really, really crafty about their names. I don't know why, but they've chosen to up the hardware, the hardware, all the finishing touches, all the detail. I mean, the piece is stunning when you see it face to face.
Yeah.
But I guess they had to lay off the guy that was coming up with the super creative names because it's not a very creative name. So I guess they just wanted to be generic and bland. It is a true stereo or dual mono compressor, meaning that when you hit the link button, the gain and threshold are linked together across the two channels. Everything else can be adjusted independently.
Right
It
on.
also has different modes that allow you to accentuate or pay more attention to certain frequency ranges, almost like an EQ for the side chain, to make sure that your compressor is compressing the way that you intend it to, maybe hitting the vocal a little harder or hitting the low end a little harder. The thing is amazing. The VU meters on it are super killer. I thought I'd hate them from being the little slotted things that move left to right versus normal VU meters. I'll tell you, they look great. The piece looks amazing face to face. I'm a huge fanboy of Dangerous Music, and for $27.99, I think it's a killer deal. Not only that, but just hearing it. I mean, let's forget everything else. The cool blue lights, the awesome front panel look, which John will be happy to show you a photo of. It's a stunning piece, is it not?
It is. It sure is, man. It's pretty, man. It's a beautiful looking piece of gear.
Yeah, and I'll tell you personally, I would paint it pink and put polka dots all over it if I had to, because when I heard it, it was ridiculous. We got to test it with a vocal, and it did really, really well, just as a vocal compressor. As a 2-bus compressor, I mean, Dangerous summing amp, back EQ, this guy, holy crud.
That's awesome.
If you can't get a good mix with it, you're probably in the wrong industry at that point. So I'm super, super thrilled to see this thing come out. I'm not sure when they'll be shipping, but they're $27.99. Hugely versatile. Doesn't have a lot of character all its own. It's a really, really transparent piece of gear, but I'm excited. Dangerous has been waving something in my face for months, saying, "Oh, we're going to come out with something really, really cool." And I was like, kind of got a little sick of it. And now it's like, yes, you came out with something very, very cool.
That's awesome.
Your lust is ignited.
That's awesome. That's
So,
awesome. All right, so that kind of, I mean, is that pretty much all of the new ones so far? Is there any other news that's going on at AES? Anything that's come out?
Well, there was some news outside of AES, and this is kind of more just a personal heart-to-heart to the community. And that was KK Audio, a furniture maker that I was really well connected to, and really admired their work, admired what they did. Unfortunately, they closed their doors recently. So, in the studio furniture business, I mean, it's got to be a tough life out there because unlike, everything else in your studio where you buy more mics, you buy more pre's, most of us buy a desk and then we're good for a couple of years.
And most desks, because they're really well made desks, I mean, you're good for years and years on desks and stuff. So yeah, I can see that for sure, man.
It's a shame. They had some really intricate designs, great workflows. We're going to miss them in the industry. I want to at least come out and personally say I'm going to miss them. I know some of our listenership and some of our customers are really going to miss them. They were a great company. I wish them all the best. And man, KK Audio, it was great being with you.
Awesome. Is there anything new going on, like Sweetwater or anything? Any new things that you guys have got going on?
Well, again, AES brings in everything new, and I hope you all log on to the Sweetwater site. We'll be updating throughout the show. Remember, announcements aren't just Friday. They're all scattered throughout. And then, of course, when Winter NAMM comes up, which is just in a couple of months.
Yeah, I think it's January 20-something. So.
Yeah. So, there's going to be a slew of new stuff then. But there is something new and cool that showed up at Sweetwater. It actually came in a couple months ago, but it's been flying under the radar. We're just starting to put it out there. So our friends at Pigtronics, who I believe I mentioned last week, love their stuff. They decided that they make a Sweetwater exclusive mothership that has CV output. And this is super cool for anybody that does electronic music production or likes experimental guitar tone. What they did is they calibrated it to work with Korg's newest toy, the MS-20 synthesizer. And so you have this pedal, which is $499. The mothership, I should mention, is $499. Our CV modded mothership is the same $499. More features, more functionality for the same money. It's awesome. You plug this little guy into the envelope and to the pitch control of the MS-20, and boom, you have a monophonic true guitar synth that sounds huge. If you haven't seen it yet, feel free to Google or go on YouTube and just type in mothership Korg MS-20. There's tons of videos of guys out there that had previously modded this pedal themselves. We get it modded directly from the manufacturer. It's a really, really nifty setup, and for, again, super tweaky electronic guys, anybody who's making, electronic, industrial, or just looking really to experiment with something ambient and cool, it's a great pairing. Plus, the MS-20 is really, really capable, and the Pigtronics mothership is really, really capable. So standalone, they're two really, really awesome toys. Another thing about the MS-20, which I think is making a huge kind of comeback in modern music, at least it seems like people are starting to do it more and more, is you are able to take over the oscillator section and feed external audio into it.
Awesome.
And run that through the rest of the synth path. So if you're looking to affect a vocal, dirty it up, things like that, we often think these analog kind of processors, and we think, oh, you got to buy a $2,000 reverb or an Eventide or whatever, and blow your money and blow your rack up. Well, there's tons of cool stuff out there that's super cheap. Actually, on that note, a top tip that I've been looking into is devices that will let you do this. And again, my friends at Pigtronics came up with something called the Keymaster that's been out for a couple of years. I just kind of became privy to this, and I think I'm going to get one the next couple of months to play with.
Yeah.
But it's a way for you to take high impedance, low impedance, and mix and match and create loops. Full effects loops. So with this toy, I mean, not only can you use professional effects in your guitar rig, but I'm looking at from the flip side of, man, I can use all kinds of cool stomp boxes and pedals and all kinds of digital cool stuff that, guys like Line 6 and Eventide have come out with, and I can slam that thing across a chain in my DAW.
Nice.
All of a sudden, you can make all these cool analog, lo-fi, hi-fi, interesting effects that you're just not going to hear anymore, because that's what sets us engineers apart, is the ability to make something unique. So people have to seek you, and it's just one little step in the chain. I know everybody used to do that back in the 90s. Let's bring it back.
That's awesome. That's awesome. For sure, dude, for sure. Now, are there any specials going on this week at Sweetwater or anything like that? Anything going on?
Do have a couple of cool specials. Bose just sent us a bunch of refurbished stuff that's all 15% off the normal list. So if we have a singer-songwriter out there in the audience that's been thinking about getting themselves a Bose L1 system,
Nice.
now's a really, really good time to check out the website. Please jump on. We'd love for you to take advantage of the deal. You know, we love when our partners come forward with opportunities like that.
Yeah.
Speaking of golden opportunities, I don't know if I mentioned this last time, but Evanna Manley and the crew at Manley Electronics are offering huge rebates right now.
Nice.
On their entire product line.
That's great.
Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars of rebates. For anybody who's out there in audio land and has ever looked at a piece of Manley Electronics, you know there's no negotiation on them. What the price is the price. You're going to pay it, and it's darn well worth it. For somebody who pays that much attention to detail, this is one of the few times you're actually going to get significant money off one of these things.
Right
so
on.
Good time to jump on. And then Sweetwater just secured a huge shipment of M-Box Minis at an unheard of price. So we have all these little M-Box Minis for $150. Now,
wow.
A lot of you guys who are, semi-pro or pro engineers out there are like, M-Box Mini, who cares? Well, the M-Box Mini comes with a light version of Pro Tools. And that light version of Pro Tools can be cross-graded to a full version of Pro Tools at a discounted price that on the previous price of the M-Box Mini would have brought you up to $699. But at the price we're able to sell them at, it's actually a bundle of $599.
Wow.
So we now have a lower entry point to a full-blown version of Pro Tools that we've not seen in the market. Right. Historically, it's always been $699. It was a shock that the 11 rack was $699.
Yeah.
And that was, the best deal out there. Well, now for $100 less, if you just need a license to Pro Tools, here it is for $599 with an iLock and an interface that you can use to prop doors open, throw at your neighbor when they piss you off, whatever you have to do. But at the end of the day, it's still a better value than sticking the $699.
Yeah, man, it's like $100 off, and like you said, you get a doorstop and a paperweight out of it for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we're really excited to be offering that. I think it's the lowest in the industry right now, but I'd have to take a look around. And we never really strive to be the lowest dollar amount. We always just want to be the best service. But
right.
It's often nice if you can win them on price too.
Absolutely, man. Well, cool, dude. Well, thank you for sitting down with us and taking the time out to sit down here. As we develop more news, and like you said, with Winter NAMM coming up, we'll definitely have more and more things coming out as the months progress, and we'll be talking to you very soon.
Yeah, keep checking the MixCoach website. We'll be doing these periodically.
Yeah.
Also, feel free to jump on Sweetwater's website. We'll have announcements from AES and all kinds of cool stuff. There's also one other thing you may want to check out, and I'm sorry to say I don't have all the details, but I will try to get these to John to post on the MixCoach site.
Yeah.
The entire forum. But Antelope Audio is doing a broadcast from AES. They're doing a live web stream the whole time. We'll get you details, but it's all kinds of cool information and demonstrations from the AES floor.
Cool.
So it's kind of a look that a lot of us never get because I've never been to AES, and I know a lot of people out there haven't had the joy to actually wander into the AES show. So yeah. I'll try to get you the details of that as early as I can so that other people can jump on and just see what it's really about. Every once in a while, you'll see someone super famous wander by the camera and nobody bats an eye, and that's really cool, too.
Yeah, dude, for sure. And then one last thing, where can everybody contact you? I always try to plug you, that and the Sweetwater out there. So what's the number?
I appreciate my number, 800-222-4700, extension 1368.
Great.
Or you can catch me, Robby_Resnick at Sweetwater.com. Or just ping the guys at MixCoach and ask them to send you my direction. They'll be happy to do so. And as always, if you have any questions or concerns, give us a call at Sweetwater. Talk to me. Talk to your sales engineer. We're always happy to help. And, man, we wish you the best in your productions. Hope everything's going good.
Awesome, man. Thanks, Robby. And you guys have been watching a chat with Robby Resnick from Sweetwater here at MixCoach.com.
We'll see you shortly.
Hey guys, we actually forgot to mention something that we definitely wanted to talk to you guys about. In all the excitement about all the new gear and this deals and all that sort of thing, we didn't talk about something. So Robbie, take it away.
There was a reason why I mentioned the converter specifically, and that is a question I've been getting a lot at work lately. I got guys, they call me all the time. They want a new microphone, they want new preamps, they want new monitors, they treat their room. I've been getting a lot of focus on a lot of things, all of which are important because every device front to back is important. But here's another little top tip, just something to consider. And some guys believe in this and some guys don't. I'm a huge proponent of it, and I believe I've heard it myself, and that is conversion. Specifically, having a good set of converters on your output stage, your monitor stage. You know, guys record every level, and I appreciate that. Guys mix on M boxes, guys mix on Apogee equipment, and everything in between, and that's A-okay. But if you don't have a good set of converters right ahead of your monitors, it's really, really hard to trust what you're hearing. The reason I mentioned the Zodiac earlier, and you don't have to buy an $8,000 converter, but if you're mixing on something like an M box, or if you're mixing on something like, a Tascam interface or things, it might be wise of you to consider purchasing a better converter. Even if that's an inexpensive something in the way of like RME makes a great 2-channel, Dangerous Music makes the Source that has a converter built in as a whole little mini monitor section. Your monitors and that part of the chain, your converter, your monitors, that whole chain is your window into your mix. It is what you make every decision through. So before you consider that next microphone, before you consider that next preamp, before you consider all those other things, I think you should really sit down, think about your conversion, think if you can really trust what you're hearing, and are you making the best decisions. And it comes down to when you have great conversion, you can hear the difference so much better between these mics, between these preamps. You're making better investments, you're making better choices. I've had guys literally buy tens of thousands of dollars worth of stuff, and when we finally get to the monitoring chain, they take that leap. They kind of discovered some of the other purchases were obsolete. They weren't problems in the first place. Their old mic was great, but they never heard it before because they had awesome monitors through crappy converters. So just remember, every stage of the chain is going to count. I made a joke earlier about an IEC cable. Yes, cabling even counts too, and we can have a huge debate about that offline if you want. Totally spark it up on the MixCoach forum, and I'll be happy to chime in. The coat hangers are acceptable methods of transportation for electrons. But all that being said, your monitor chain is hugely important. If you haven't invested in your monitor chain, at least a good converter, a good set of headphones, a good set of monitors, it's a good time to consider it. There's a lot of cool products out there that don't cost $1 million to really get it in there. And even myself, I have an Apollo. I love my Apollo, but my monitor chain is still my D-Box and still the converter there because you know what? I trust it. It's a well-designed, well-invested converter, and I'm going to continue using that until I go deaf or my monitors blow up from it.
Right on, man. Well, thank you once again for sitting down with us, and we will see you soon, man.
Goodbye out there in TV land.